I'll say this: if I make $100,000 a year, throw a figure out there, and I meet this woman who blows my mind, and she makes $1 million a year. I don't like the fact that she make more money than me, though, bro. So I want to,
we had to lock this one up later.
Yeah, right. I need to find somebody with 100 or less. I think that's the male ego that's been driving the entire plan of this world.
How's everyone with money? Everyone doing all right with money right now?
I love it right now, player.
doing okay. It could always have a little more.
Always can have more.
Hey guys, welcome back to Kharisma Daily. Today on the show, I'm going to be reacting to an episode with men and money, and just listening to, the men around the table talk about money and relationships, and sort of gain some insight and share that with you. So let's go.
Like that's the best answer here. Everyone good?
Yeah.
So let's talk about money and relationships. Is it okay that your significant other makes more money than you?
Absolutely.
Would you rather have it that way almost?
You were like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah, but he's married though.
That's different.
All right, so let's also go back around the table. Married with one kid and two, or the second one on the way.
Correct.
Single.
Single. No, I'm in a relationship.
Well, I mean, single for me.
Oh, okay.
Single. Relationship. You obviously in a relationship.
Yeah.
You
Make
like,
sure,
you like.
I'm happy.
I'm
Relationship,
in a relationship. Speak for yourself, bro. I'm in a relationship. And recently not in a relationship.
Yes.
Okay, so back to significant other.
I like how you put that.
Right.
I thought that was that's a better way
Perfect
to
way
put
to
it,
put
right?
it. Perfect way to put
Okay.
it.
We don't want to put everyone.
We'll open up later on.
Right, keep sipping. So back to the question about significant other making more money than you. Is that a problem? Is that nothing?
Well, if both parties are on the same term, then I don't think it's a bad thing.
Because roles have changed.
Yeah, roles
Not
have changed.
but
Well, I mean,
evolved.
Women are fighting for more power in certain situations. Like they're getting more jobs that we get, such as engineering and things of that nature. And you can't really fight it if they make more money than you. It's evolution.
Does that make you feel a certain way?
No, I don't. I'm like this. Money to me does not equate. It doesn't quantify or qualify the type of love or the amount of love you have for somebody. I'll say this: if I make $100,000 a year, throw a figure out there, and I meet this woman who blows my mind, and she makes $1 million a year. I don't like the fact that she make more money than me, though, bro. So I want to,
we had to lock this one up later.
Yeah, right. I need to find somebody with 100 or less. I think that's the male ego that's been driving the entire plan of this world.
So true. I mean, he says that if he, is making 100K a year and he meets a woman that's making a million, then he's not really going to like that. And I know some men say, oh, they don't mind. But I really wonder deep down at the core how a man does really feel when a woman makes more money than him. Yeah, I would love to hear your opinion about that. So let's continue. Oops.
Yes.
Okay, so back to significant other.
I like how you put that.
Right.
I thought that was is that a better way to put it?
Power in certain situations, like they're
Figure out there, and I meet this woman who blows my mind, and she makes $1 million a year. I don't like that. I think that's the male ego that's been driving the entire plan of this world, and I think that there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see why, growing up traditionally in America, the man of the house is the breadwinner. And all that. I said, but nowadays there's a lot of ways to make that bread.
Yeah.
So and a lot of women are much better at certain things than I know me. I won't say everybody else, but women are the spearhead of this new movement. So if you're not willing to or able to accept and embrace the fact that your significant other makes more than you if you're a man, then you need to go back to the 60s or 50s.
Yes.
Rewind time.
I agree with that. I mean, I think money is one of the things that causes rifts within relationships. So
Big
I
time.
think if you're able to get in a relationship with your significant other, and whoever makes 10%, 20% more, I think that conversation really is irrelevant. Just as long as the main focus of you guys being together is because of attraction, because of love, because of wanting to build something together that's strong
Right.
and has a foundation. If your foundation is just solely based on the financial aspect, you're going down the wrong lane in the first
Oh,
place.
yeah.
You know?
And then when you look at money from a marital perspective, then you look at it as a collective. Right? So it's not
Same bank
that-
account.
Exactly. Well, my wife and I, we have separate accounts.
Hold up. Let's get it straight, brother.
Yeah, but we both have access to all of the money. So
Gotcha.
when we're budgeting, which is something we've recently started to do, we look at the money collectively. We look at the debt collectively. We look at the household necessities. You know.
Can you
rent,
walk us
insurance,
through
things
that
like
process for all the non-married people at this table?
So what he's saying there is, about having money separated as a couple. So I'm going to be doing another episode about that, where I'm going to be looking into, well, should you separate your money as a couple? Like, what is the pros and cons of that? So, and there are some pros and there are some cons. So, but let's go. Keep going.
And watch it.
Which aspect?
Of the budgeting.
All
The
right,
budgeting,
so-
how do you have that conversation?
If you haven't heard, finances are probably the number one killer in
Of relationships.
relationships, right? So if you're not on the same page, then it's only a matter of time before something happens, because money is going to fluctuate, and if you don't have the same mindset, then you're going to clash.
Right.
So
Yep.
the way that my wife and I approached it, we've been through seasons where we've made a lot of money, but we weren't good stewards of it. So we would just spend and spend and spend and spend, and then living from paycheck to paycheck when we don't have to.
Right.
Right.
Look at your W-2 at the end of the year, like, I made
Where did this
what?
go?
Like,
Right.
where, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing to
So
show for it.
we had to take a step back and say, listen, we have this household income monthly. These are our expenses. This is the money that we have left over. We need to be good stewards of that. So we got on a budget where we sit down at the beginning of the month and we have a destination for every
Every
dollar.
month.
Every month.
Gotcha.
And so
Wow.
if
That's
it's,
good.
let's just say $10,000 to keep the math simple, and we have $3,000 for rent, we have $7,000 left,
To do
but
things.
that money is going somewhere. So we say, okay,
Right.
1,500 is going to charity, 250 is going to insurance, 300 is going to groceries, and anything left, we find a place for it to go, so that anything that we spend, we have to be accountable for it. So now if my wife says, hey, I want some diamond earrings. Okay, cool. Those are $2,000. Where do you want to pull that $2,000 from?
Okay.
So
That
it's
makes
not as easy
sense.
as swiping a debit card. When you have the money in front of you, you have to be accountable for it.
What I like
Yeah.
what you were saying, I never really heard you say I and me. Everything was we have, and if you all aren't on the same page, in the same paragraph, in the same sentence,
Same word.
on the same word,
There had to be
both ends of the word. But if you don't have that sort of that cohesion, married or not, in any relationship, if you're not on that same page, not walking to the same beat, things are going to get off,
Yep.
and it's going to cause a rift. I think relationships, especially with money being concerned, is a group of agreements that we share. That's
true.
You want to live in the hills? Yes, I want to live in the hills. Me too. All right, that's one agreement that we have. And if you're not agreeing on where the money is going,
Right.
money being a mainstay in all of our lives, whether we believe it or not, try to live in this country or this world without any money. You can be in
Not
a
happening.
relationship, but what's that going to look like? But I appreciate the fact that you just kept saying we,
I appreciate
we,
it too.
because it's a collective.
Don't
it's a
hear we a
unit.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all this
It's true.
me selfish stuff. You can't be selfish in any relationship at all.
Well, there you have it. So, according to Investopedia, here's an article about top 6 marriage killing money issues, right? So, the first one is failing to pool earnings. So, when each spouse works and they can't agree on financial issues or even find the time to talk about them, they sometimes decide to split the bills down the middle or allocate them in some other manner that seems fair and equitable. Once the bills have been covered, each spouse can spend what's left as they see fit. So that's the first issue. Carrying old debts. So you come into a relationship or marriage and you have debt, she has, your partner has debt, and it becomes a burden on the relationship. So most people come into the altar with some financial baggage, whether it's student debt, credit card debt, or a gambling habit, which is even more detrimental. If one partner has more debt than the other, this sparks can fly when discussion about income, spending, and debt servicing come up. Number 3, ignoring personality differences. So personality plays a big role in discussion and habits about money. Even if partners are debt-free, the age-old conflict between spenders and savers can play out in multiple ways. So you like to save, she like to spend, or vice versa. That is very, very hard on a relationship. Number 4, staging power plays. So power play often occurs in one of the 4 scenarios. One partner has a job and the other doesn't. Both partners would like to be working, but one is unemployed. One spouse earns considerably more than the other. Or one partner comes from a family that has money and the other doesn't. So when one or more of these situations are present, the one who makes or has the most money often wants to dictate the couple's spending priorities. Although there may be some rationale behind this idea, it is important that both partners remember that they are part of a team. Number 5, supporting a growing family. Whether and when to have children is, among much else, a financial decision. Food, clothing, shelter, Little League ballet, designer jeans, prom gowns, minivans, and college tuition are the long lists of child-related expenses. And that doesn't include expenses for offspring who has already left the nest. So that could be a burden as well. Number 6, coping with extended family. So I know so many of you out there have extended family who you're still supporting, right? For whatever reason. Co-managing their finances while respecting the goals, needs, and expectations each spouse has regarding the extended family can be especially tricky. So his parents may need a car. Her brother can't make the rent. His sister's husband's lost his job. Now, one spouse is willing to write a check, and the other wants to know why that money wasn't used to address needs at home or fund a vacation for us. So that could also cause a lot of drama. So how to handle money issues in a marriage? Now, according here, Investopedia, it says communication is key. You and your partner need to be on the same page financially. Talk openly about your preferences for handling money, your goals for the future, and any concerns you have about how you jointly are handling your income. Set financial goals. Where do you want to go? A couple should come to an agreement on what their long-term goals are and how they'll get there. Deal with debt. For many couples, dealing with debt is the first issue on the agenda. Knowing what you're about to get yourself into can help you decide on how to deal with it. And sign a prenup or postnup. If you just can't come to an agreement, but your heart won't let you walk away, a prenuptial agreement may be an option. Just be aware that one partner may find it insulting. So speaking of prenuptial agreements and prenups and so on, so coming up, I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be sharing some information about prenups as well, because I want to learn as well. So I'm going to share what I'm learning with you all about prenups. And you hear in the news that, especially when it comes to celebrities or people who have lots of money, the husband maybe making lots of money, more money than the wife. They go into the relationship. She signs a prenup. She's apparently okay with the agreements. And then once they start to go through a divorce, then the woman, generally, I've never really heard a man change his mind, but it's generally the woman who says that she never got time to sign the prenup. She was coerced. She didn't understand. And modern women today, they always seem to act dumb and play dumb when it comes to financial matters, especially when it comes to prenups and going through a divorce. It's all of a sudden they don't know, they don't understand. But that's another episode for another day. And let's see what else they have to say here. So that's sign a prenup. Know your financial personality. Personality, as noted above, will play a major role in your financial plans and your marital bliss or lack thereof. And check your ego. The power play issue can get ugly quickly. First things build resentment faster than being made to feel inferior. So if you've got more cash, you need to be sensitive about how you present spending decisions. If you don't have the money, you need to be prepared for stress and tension that is almost inevitable, even in good marriages. This subject comes up with increasing frequency when couples wait until later in life to marry. And address family matters. Extended family can be a huge challenge, and no single piece of advice will properly address this, every situation, and the emotions that are inevitably attached to them. Passing along good habits. So you want to teach your children good financial habits. Teach them about money when they're young. And I think that's pretty much it. It says here. There's different questions that you have to ask. Should a couple have individual or joint accounts? What is financial infidelity? Now, there's one thing about where a partner cheats on you, that's infidelity. But what is financial infidelity? So acts of financial infidelity may include opening a separate bank account that a partner is unaware of. It may be hiding debts or an expensive bad habit. It may be squirreling away a secret stash of cash. All of these behaviors mean, at the very least, that there's a lack of trust and confidence in the relationship. At worst, it means someone is hiding an ugly secret. So apparently that's another way that people cheat on their partners. So in all fairness, and to wrap this up, money does have a significant impact on relationships. And we see my previous episode, you hear about the woman who wanted a man that she's going to date to pay her bills. Then you hear about the other little woman, how she's in a relationship, but her partner is making less money than her, and he feels bad about going out. He can't afford to spend money on dates, and he doesn't want her to spend money on dates. And now you've heard here in this roundtable where a group of men are sitting around talking about the effects of money and relationships and their own experiences, giving their own advice. So I'd love to hear from you. What has been your experience when it comes to money and relationships, whether negative or positive?